Hi everyone. Today I'm going to be talking to you about an amazing home learning strategy called embedded instruction. Embedded instruction is intentional instruction that's going to occur within the context of your everyday routine and your everyday activities. Embedded instruction is different from structured teaching, where you're designating a certain time in your day to teach a certain subject. For example, if you have a preschooler and you're going to be working on preschool level math, a structured teaching approach is to identify a time to teach those preschool level math skills, and you're going to be teaching them using a curriculum or a workbook or through a game series that are specifically targeting these math skills. Most likely at a preschool level, you're going to be focused on counting, number recognition, labeling shapes, and some spatial awareness. On the other hand, an embedded approach, you're going to be teaching these same skills, but not at a designated time. You're going to be teaching these skills within the context of your already established routine. So, for example, at a preschool level, you're going to be working on counting to 30 while your child is washing their hands before a meal. You're going to work on number recognition when you and your child are taking the dog for a walk. You're going to practice by labeling the numbers on the neighbor's mailbox. During meal times, you can work on shape recognitions and concepts like more or less by talking about the food on their plate. Embedded instruction is a particularly useful strategy for parents who are working and don't have a lot of extra time to designate for instruction. It's also beneficial to the child, as children learn faster when learning occurs in a natural context. They engage more easily and are less resistant to the learning. For example, a kindergartner is probably going to be resistant to doing math addition problems on a worksheet. But if they're engaged in a game of building block towers and you join them and you start teaching those addition skills within the context of their play, they're going to be much more likely to engage with those learning and much more likely to want to practice those emerging addition skills. Embedded instruction also works really well if you have children of different ages that are working on different skills. So for example, the grocery store is a part of almost everyone's routine and is a great routine to start practicing embedded instruction. So if you have a kindergartner, they're likely going to be working on some letter recognition. So you might say to your kindergartner at the beginning of the grocery store trip, okay, today we're going to practice finding food that starts with the letter B. So your kindergartner is going to be pointing out bread and blueberries and bananas all through your grocery store trip. Well, you might also have your third grader with you who's working on multiplication. So you can say to your third grader, once that kindergartner points out the B for bananas, you might say to your third grader, okay, there's 3 of us in our family and we're all going to have bananas with our breakfast 3 times a week. How many bananas do we need? Same thing goes when you get to the bread. Your kindergartner is pointing out, oh, bread starts with B. And then you say to your third grader, okay, there are 3 people in our family and we're all going to have sandwiches 4 times a week. How many slices of bread do we need for the week? So to get you started with embedded instruction, it's a really simple strategy, but it does take some practice and it takes some creativity. I would start by identifying the things that you do regularly as a family, and also play activities that your child frequently chooses to engage in. So if you're noticing that your first grader is going outside and drawing in sidewalk chalk every day, they love that activity, that's a great time to say, okay, what skills can I teach while they're playing with chalk? So you can go out and you can practice reading and writing some sight words. You may want to make a list of the skills that your child's working on and stick them on the fridge. That way, before you have the activity, you can kind of glance at it and pick the skill that most fits with that activity and try to embed it as you go. I'd also suggest starting a journal where you're jotting down maybe 3 times a day where learning is occurring naturally or where you're embedding instruction in your routine. This can really help you expand your practices in embedded instruction, and it can also help you monitor your child's progress. Now, I know this can seem really tricky for beginners, and I am here to support you. So if you feel like you would like a little bit of extra support knowing how to plan embedded instruction specifically for your child's needs, feel free to contact me at emergentexpressions.com, and I can help you get started.